Wall Street to Main Street to help small business owners have the same capital as corporate America and give them the same resources as a larger company. We cover business funding, business credit, scaling, business consulting, and much more. Check out the website at shieldadvisorygroup.com. Welcome to the show, The Liquid Lunch Project.
Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Liquid Lunch Project. I am Matt Meehan, alongside my co-host and partner in crime, Luigi Rosa Bianca.
Matt, I am excited about this episode. We have a guy today, Mr. Bolanos, and Pat makes shit. He actually makes stuff. Now, with all due respect to our lawyers and accountants and our coaches, this guy is salt of the earth. He makes stuff. This is the backbone of America. You guys are in for a treat today.
Yeah, Patrick's got a lot going on. We know each other for a while. He has a really interesting story. Not only is he the food truck and trailer king of Texas, but he also has a great not-for-profit, and he is actually doing a lot of good in the world. What's going on, Pat? Happy to have you, man.
What's up, fellas? I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for that introduction. We do actually make shit, not like a lot of gurus or entrepreneurs out there that are not building anything. We're actually manufacturing shit from scratch and helping entrepreneurs launch their mobile food business. So really happy to be here, man.
Thanks for being here, bro. Hey, before we get started, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about your background, who you are, where you're from, how you got started in Trailer King Builders, and a little bit about the not-for-profit.
Absolutely. My name's Patrick Bolanos. I'm originally from Nicaragua. I grew up half of my life in Nicaragua, other half of my life in St. Louis, Missouri, because my grandmother on my dad's side is American. My grandfather on my mom's side's Italian, by the way, just so you guys know. And man, I grew up in a middle-class family in Nicaragua. I went to a good high school. I was pretty much brought up to, follow the typical go to the university, get a corporate job kind of lifestyle, which I did for a very, very long time. I scaled the corporate ladder in Citibank. I was a VP of commercial banking. But throughout my life, I was bred to be this corporate lifestyle guy. Everybody in my family, except for my two grandfathers, which were doctors. My dad was an employee of in the corporate lifestyle. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and I grew up. You got to go to school, you got to go get your degree, and then you get a job, and then basically you die. Is basically what I was taught. And so I got married at 25. My wife and I, we have 4 kids, and we moved a couple times from Honduras to Nicaragua to the U.S. A lot of shit happened during that, that I could get into. Like, for example, my brother-in-law was kidnapped in Honduras for 30 days. I've been through some crazy shit. I grew up in a third world country. I lived during a civil war, and I had to escape Nicaragua in 1984 in the middle of the night. So I've had some perspective in life, and when you grow up in Nicaragua, you see poverty, but as you live there, it like becomes normal to you. So I was lucky enough to get out of Nicaragua in 2014. I got a job as a CFO of a restaurant group here in Houston, 2014. And I was just living my life, going through the motions day to day. I was overweight. I was living paycheck to paycheck. And basically just going through the motions in my life and not really living for anybody else, or not even for myself, man. I wasn't, I was letting my family down. And then one day my brother shared the MFCEO project with me. This was October 2017. And I started listening to Andy Frisella, and I started listening, and not only listening, but paying attention and taking action to what I was listening to. I stood up for something at work. At the job that I had, I was a CFO of a restaurant group. Funny thing is, I was managing a $25 million restaurant group, and I couldn't even manage my own home finances. So you can get the idea of how that made me feel. Like, I felt like an imposter at work. Like, damn, I'm a CFO, and I'm riding up in a fucking Honda Civic. I'm managing $25 million budgets. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, accumulating credit card debt. So I was really, really down. I was financially broken, emotionally broken. And I stood up for something at work because we were bleeding cash. And so I said, you know what, this can't continue. This company's going to go down if we continue down this route. Got me fired. It was a week before Christmas, 2017. I had $500 in my bank account, family of 4 at the time. And I didn't know where I was going to get money to pay my fucking rent the following month. I had a Christmas trip planned to go to my sister's house in Chicago. I had to borrow $800 from her so I can go see her for Christmas with my family. And that's when everything changed, bro. That's when I hit rock bottom and everything changed. And I still remember I was crying in my car and I was thinking to myself, something has to give. Either I can continue down this pathetic route or something's got to change. And the first thing I did was start paying attention to what I was listening to, what books I was reading. And I just started becoming grateful for the situations that I was in. And slowly but surely, opportunities started to present themselves. I got the opportunity to become a salesman for a food truck company. So I would make $1,000 for every food truck I would sell. And it took me 2 days to sell my first food truck. I had to do catering gigs on the weekend so I could make extra cash to make ends meet. I filed for unemployment. All this shit was the beginning of 2018. I joined the Arte Syndicate in 2018. I saw you got the hat on. That was mid-2018. Everything started to change the moment I started investing in myself. And then ex-business partner, we came up with the idea, hey, let's start fucking building our own food trucks. The market is in dire need of somebody that actually understands customer service and can give what the customers are asking for. And we started one at a time in the front lawn of my fucking business partner's house. And now we're doing 20 a month. I mean, we literally started one a month. We had to scramble for payroll certain months. We had to scramble to make ends meet. My credit card was maxed out at $25K every single month. And so you can imagine my credit score where it was. It was fucking at the bottom of the bottom. It was like a 530 every month. And slowly but surely, bro, just going through and taking action on what was going to make us better every single day. We're going to do about 12 million this year in sales. My credit score is almost 800 now, dog.
Yeah.
My family doesn't have to worry about where we're going to get money. I remember when I used to go to Sam's Club and shit, that gave me anxiety of going to Sam's Club. Christmas time gave me the fucking worst anxiety in the world. And now, man, I just have a different relationship with money. It's totally shifted since I started investing in myself.
I love that, brother, because I remember meeting you. It had to be the end of 2018, almost 2019, at the $1 Million Mastermind. You were just getting started. And watching your journey has just been awesome, dude. You're doing great. Keep it up. But you're also not just doing great for yourself personally and your business and employing people, keeping this country alive and going, but you're also giving back too. Let's touch upon that for a second.
Sure, absolutely. So back, it all started back when I started asking myself better questions, man. And one of the better questions I ask myself almost every day is, what kind of impact do I want to leave on this planet? Like, do I just want to be just a number and a fucking another human that lived on this planet? Or do I want to be somebody that left an actual legacy and an impact? And so the question that I would ask myself was, what would make me, what's the most passionate thing that drives me? What makes me the most passionate? And I would always go back to when I was a kid growing up in Nicaragua playing baseball with kids that were underprivileged. They did not have baseball gloves like we did. They did not have baseball cleats. They didn't have baseball uniforms, but we made it happen. Like, we used sticks, we used balls made out of milk bags and socks. And that was when I was the happiest. And so I decided that I wanted to start giving back. And so I Googled how to bring used baseball equipment to Nicaragua. And I found this nonprofit organization called Helping Kids Round First, founded by an American out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. At the time that I found him, he'd already been doing what I wanted to do for 10 years. And I sent him an email and I said, listen, I'm Nicaraguan. I literally spelled out what I just told you guys. I'm passionate about baseball. I grew up in Nicaragua. I want to help. What can I do? The guy brought me on board. I'm on the board of directors. We raise capital. We raise money every single year to help kids just get an opportunity to play baseball with equipment that is, while though it's used and might be thrown out here in the U.S., it's fucking golden for them, bro. And so that's one part. And then another part is I have a baseball academy, and we're giving kids an opportunity to sign with Major League Baseball out of Nicaragua. So from asking better questions, I'm hoping to leave a better world. And, we're not going to be here forever. So hopefully we do a little bit more to help kids.
Hey, Patrick, let me ask you, honest gut check. How critical do you think your upbringing was in a third world country, going through the Civil War, dealing with Reagan's Sandinistas in the 80s? How difficult was it then, and how critical do you think it was to your growth and your inner strength Because frankly, when you deal with that at a young age, what's a client who wants to buy a food truck going to do to you, right? Piece of cake.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, it creates one perspective, right? Perspective for me is super important because on a day to day, now growing up in Nicaragua, you become immune to it. You become immune to the poverty. You become immune to what they're doing. It's a socialist country ran by one family, and they get to do with the country whatever the hell they want. But you see how tough it is to actually make it. Like if somebody makes it in Nicaragua, man, they can make it anywhere. If you come to the US is the land of opportunity. I appreciate this country so much because in the 3 short years that I decided to become a entrepreneur, I've been able to scale my business. There's no fucking way I would have been able to do that, what I've done here, to the level that I've done it in Nicaragua. And so, yeah, it creates perspective and it makes me more appreciative of the things that we have because I understand how worse or how bad it can be. And like you said, man, like my brother-in-law was kidnapped 30 days in Honduras, bro. Like, so your food truck, is not working right now, bro. We're going to get it fixed. Let's go.
Hey, Patrick, let me ask you now, let's transition to your food truck business. Your honest assessment, sometimes looking in the mirror is the most difficult thing to do. Are you taking advantage of a very unique opportunity? Meaning, are you selling shovels during a gold rush? Or is there a second wind to this food truck craze?
I will say this, and that's a great question because the industry was already on an uprise before the pandemic. A slow but steady uprise. The food truck began to transition into back in the, early 90s to late 90s. It was maybe considered a roach coach, maybe not so fancy. People look down on it, right? But then like it started to shift, and then more people started investing in food trucks, and more people started making more gourmet meals out of food trucks, and food trucks started to become more acceptable all over the U.S. And then the pandemic happened, and it just threw a fire that was already lit. They literally poured gasoline on top of, and it started burning like crazy. And we took the opportunity that we were like when the pandemic hit and they shut America down. The first thing we did was we ran to the Houston Health Department to get a permit, not a permit, but permission to stay open because we were serving essential businesses. And they said, okay, here's a letter, put it in the front of your business, give this letter to every one of your employees. If they get stopped by any police officer, et cetera, tell them to present this letter. You guys are an essential business. And it's taken off. But not only did it take off because more people needed to be outdoors, but because I think, and it's my opinion, more people are making a decision to invest in themselves when they saw that everything could be taken from them. So we have a lot of solo entrepreneurs that were longtime employees of Fortune 500 companies like a Coca-Cola or a Kraft or whatever that may be, right? Whatever company, they've been working there 25 years. They have their 401k and they were like, you know what? F this. I don't want to be working from home. I don't want to be making them money. I'm going to grab whatever money I have in my savings, my 401k, all my retirement income, and I'm going to invest it in myself. And they're thriving. People got let go and they invested in themselves and they're thriving. So I think that had a lot to do with it too.
Hey, Patrick, let me ask you, this is the one thing that I really love about your business. Scaling in any business, doing a copy and paste, that doesn't impress us. Any monkey can do that. Mm-hmm. And then overcharging for a boutique product, selling an Hermes bag, that doesn't impress us either. What impresses us is you're able to scale with a custom product. Please tell our small business owners out there, what's the secret? The secret to scaling custom products.
The secret to scaling custom products is listening to your customers and understanding what it is they want, when they want it. It's really difficult to manage 300 custom made products a year. We're talking about thousands upon hundreds of thousands of moving parts.
That's why it's so impressive.
You know what? I think I appreciate that. It is, but we're still not where we want to be. It's super hard. Communication is probably the most important part in the whole process with your customers. and being transparent and saying that you can do things and saying no to the things that you know are not that you're not strong. That's not your strong suit. And so we've had to learn the hard. We've tried where we fumbled a couple times, but we make up for it. And we've taken projects on that we've fucking killed it and done huge like things that we would have never imagined we could do, bro. And it's one of those things like I'm not gonna say I'm a perfectionist, but for me, quality is probably the most important part that keeps me up at night. Like, that people get that question, what keeps you up at night? And for me, it's, making sure that we provide a quality product and that the customer at the end of the day feels like they got their value from us. We're not the premier. We're not the freaking Mercedes-Benz. There's companies out there that charge double what we charge for exact same product that we provide. And ours is probably better. I don't know. Maybe I should increase my prices or, I just like to serve. I like to be around people that grew up like me, that are investing in themselves, that they've never been handed anything. So that's the market that I want to focus in. Like I could go and target market like the big companies, like the Chick-fil-A's and but I like to work with the mom and pops, bro.
There's something to be said about that, right? Because you're helping somebody create a dream that they had and from scratch, and you guys are putting in the work. And when that actually becomes a physical truck or even their dream, you see it created, the smile on their face must be ear to ear. And that's got to be even more fulfilling than the money at the end of the day. That's
what keeps me going every day. Like when I'm going through shit at work, because there's shit we go through. Like just last week, a $60,000 build out, which was delivered by a transportation company, they trashed it when it got back to the client. And I had to work through the weekend, had to send a crew to go fix things that were not within our control. And it had me questioning like, fuck, do I really want to do this? Do I want to be handling this shit Saturday nights, Sunday mornings? Do I want to be having to stress out about, And then I see the videos that we make about our customers and I see them crying because that's the dream that they've had. Maybe their grandmother's recipes is the inspiration behind their product. And that's what keeps me going, man. That's when I know and I get reminded, hey, you're doing something good, bro. You got to keep going. All this shit is just to test you, getting you better. And so, I'll tell you this. You just said dream building. I call my salespeople dream builders. Our sales team, our collaborators, we call them dream builders. And I tell them this every single day. We're not selling anybody anything. Everybody that walks through our door has a dream of owning a food truck. How easy is it to help them? All we're doing is helping them, wherever they may be in the process. Maybe they need help with funding. Maybe they already have the money. Maybe they already have the idea. They have to raise capital, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. At the end of the day, we're helping people build dreams. That's exactly what it is, Matt.
I love that, man. Now, you're not running a small operation. You have probably close to 35, 40 employees right now?
Give or take between, about 40.
So a couple of years ago, it was just you and your partner, right? How is that learning curve scaling? And how did you figure out what systems and processes to put in place to make your organization run like a fine oiled machine?
I wish we were a fine old machine. We're not there yet, but we will be. But I'll tell you this, the moment you start learning from people that have done things you want to do will cut down the time, your learning curve. So for example, I went out and I joined Apex. I went out and I joined Arate. And there I'm exposed to somebody like Andy Frisella, who's running a $400-600 million company. Or I'm exposed to Ryan Stewman. Or I'm exposed to somebody that's doing the things that I want to do, and they're willing to share their information on how they learned to cut down on certain things, timing, how to improve customer service, how to build core values, how to hire, how to become a leader, how to invest in yourself, how to find the right people, how to create a culture. And that for me has been the biggest difference, investing in myself and at the same time learning from others that are doing what I want to do. So for example, in Apex, one of the first conversations I ever had with my coach, I was doing most of the work, bro. I was doing payroll. I was doing the purchasing. I was doing the customer service. I was doing sales. And then I learned, bro, if you can't scale your business if you're working in your business, you're not working on your business. And so the first thing he taught me, and this is going to be a great tool for everybody. I went out and I recorded every single process, and I created some standard operating procedures using Loom, which is a software that records whatever you're doing on the computer, and you can speak into it, and it records your face and the screen. And I recorded every single standard operating procedure that I had on my plate, and I delegated it to someone else. So I hired a team member, and I said, you know what? This is going to be your activities on a week-to-week basis. Now, I don't have to do the payroll. Every single week, I had to sign 45 checks, bro. Put them into the system myself. 4 hours on a Friday doing payroll. But that's what you have to do at the beginning because you're growing. You can't afford maybe a team member to come in, or you don't have the knowledge yet. But as you go and you start learning from others, you start implementing those SOPs, and then you can focus on scaling. And don't let me get started on marketing, because that I learned from building the machine, and it just changed the game.
Hey man, I just saw that video that you guys put out. I think Joey Yak did it for you, or who made that video for you? That was powerful. Talk about emotional.
That's something that we do invest heavily in. Like we consider every single marketing piece an investment, because I know there's we put it out there, and it's going to resonate with somebody, and it's going to drive. Like the whole process or purpose of creating the machine is when somebody asks you, Matt, hey, I'm interested in making a food truck. I want you to think about me when someone asks you about building a food truck.
Guys, I'm saying it wrong. It's not even a video. It's a mini movie. It was really, really cool. Luigi, I got to send it over to you. Tell the listeners where they can find that movie, because it hit me in my soul.
So you can go to Facebook and look for Trailer King Builders. It's on our Instagram also, at Trailer King Builders. And we also have a YouTube channel, Trailer King Builders. And it's a movie about something that can happen to anybody. You can lose your job. It's happened to me. Shit. It's kind of like my story. I lost my job and I started to take action. And so.
Yeah, there's one point in that video where he's sitting in the car and he doesn't know what he's going to do next. And I've been in that point, and I'm sure everybody listening, if you run a small business, you've been in that point too. Me and Luigi see it constantly with our clients that own 7, 8-figure companies that come in, and sometimes they just need somebody to talk to help them grow. And because they're stuck looking at the tree when we can look at the forest with a larger overview.
Exactly.
So let me ask you something. You came from Nicaragua, you came here, you tried corporate world, wasn't for you, right? 3 short years, you started to run an amazing company, and I think it's just the beginning for you guys. To be honest with you, I know you're going to grow bigger. You got the not-for-profit going, right? Who are the 3 biggest influences in your life that helped you make that happen?
One of the biggest influences, I got to say, that I wish I would have listened more when I was younger was my grandfather, Alejandro, on my dad's side, and my great uncle, Enrique, who was president of Nicaragua from 2002 to 2007. He was my first mentor. And whenever I got in trouble, he was the person that my mom took me to have a conversation with. And our family is based on core values. We had the core values. We when we grew up, we knew that we were hardworking, and then we always did the right thing. We never cheated, and we never took shortcuts. And even though not a lot of my parents or my uncles were entrepreneurs, there were a couple of them, and that really helped me see that if I work hard, I'm going to make it. Like, I scaled the corporate ladder. I wasn't like a bum or anything. I just wasn't making the right decisions with my money at the time, and those were the first biggest influences in my life. Then I got to say, man, and when it comes to the corporate world and business and culture, it's Andy Frisella and Ed Milet. Those are one of the biggest influences to really shift my mindset. And then I love being in Ryan's group, because Apex, just the culture there, everybody helping each other, everybody lifting each other up, everybody there is doing something better to be the better version of themselves every single day. So family, and when it comes to business, and then spirituality, man, I'm a huge, I believe in Jesus Christ, and I believe in doing the right thing. I believe in being kind to others. And if I live my life that way, I think I'll be all right.
Patrick, We heard about the past. We're very familiar with your present. What's the future have in store for Patrick Bolanos?
Well, brother, I have a podcast. It's called Working for a Dream. I believe everybody in this world is working for a dream, whatever dream that may be. So I'm working on my dreams. I want to have the premier baseball academy in Nicaragua, so we can produce children. And my dream is to sit in the Major League Baseball stadium and sit there while one of our kids is making their major league debut. I want to have the largest food truck manufacturing company in the world, and I want to leave a legacy for my children and my wife, and for them to say, "Hey, Patrick Bolanos was a fucking good guy. He gave back." That's what I want.
I love that. Amen. I don't know where to go from there. That was awesome. Man, it's amazing. Look, me and Luigi, I know the listeners can't see us, but we're smiling ear to ear. Your energy that you're giving off is infectious, right? And you can just tell. You guys can't see Patrick, but you could just see it on his face. Everything that he's saying is radiating from him because he truly believes it and he's truly passionate. My hat's off to you, brother. You're doing a great job, and I can't wait to watch you on the rest of your journey, right? Why don't you tell all the listeners where they can find you one more time, right, before we let you go, and I have one last question for you.
Okay, awesome. So if you're interested in the food truck, you don't know where to start, you want to scale, or you want to learn how to build a food truck empire, you can find us at Trailer King Builders on Instagram, most of the social media platforms. Go to YouTube. I'm doing a lot of content based on information on how to get started, how to fund food trucks, how to scale food trucks, how to create a menu and price your menu. So if you have anything related to that, if you want to find out more about our nonprofit, it's called Helping Kids Round First. You can find it on all the social media platforms. And then my baseball academy is called Working for a Dream Baseball Academy. It is WFAD Baseball Academy on Instagram. And if you want to follow me, at Patrick Bolanos HTX on Instagram.
Everybody out there, get with Patrick. But Pat, before we let you go, my man, so we ask everybody that comes on this show one simple question. We've gotten a lot of answers, but I want to know, what does success mean to Mr. Patrick Bolanos?
Success to me is freedom, brother. The freedom to do whatever the fuck I want when I want. That is the end of it. That's where it starts. That's where it ends.
Enough said. We can't go any further than that. Hey, guys, thanks for listening. Again, as always, we appreciate you, and that's a wrap. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening to the show. And make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share it with a friend. We'll see you on the next episode of The Liquid Lunch Project.